I love the show, like really love it. I mean,
Thank you.
I often have to watch series for junkets. I always watch like the first 2 episodes. Often I don't continue them on, and I'm already like gripped on this one. It's just
that's what we want to hear.
That's what we ask us anything.
well, my first
in your hands now, Stefan.
Well, here we go. But the first question is following that lead, because the opening scene features a corpse with an erection, right? I can't say I've ever seen that before, but it just grabs.
I'm glad to hear that.
For you.
But it just grabs you, and it shows, the second that happens, you think this show's different already. And I'm just wondering if you had that similar experience reading the script. When you open it up and on page 1, there's that. Does it make you go?
I can tell you this: when you are that guy, and this is how you are presented, this is the first you will see of your character. You get slightly scared, but also very intrigued.
But it's that irreverence, isn't it? That's what's so great about it. It's completely irreverent, and that's what makes you raw. It's so gorgeous when you open a script and you see something like that. It's so surprising. And that's, if a script can surprise you, it's already won.
Yeah, but I mean, despite, like you said, the irreverence, I mean, it is a really interesting take on morality, or at least from an audience perspective, because these people are doing something very bad potentially, and yet they're doing it to help someone else. Is that quite an interesting territory to explore? Because the viewer does remain on their side despite their actions, I suppose. Oh,
absolutely. And I think that's family. That's the definition of family. I don't know, if you ever have a child, you suddenly realize I could kill for this person very quickly. Anybody did anything to him.
Or I could kill this child.
Or I could kill this child.
Because this child is so annoying right now.
But
which is something that does happen.
So I think it's that level of sort of like Spanish kind of pride and it's just so brilliant, isn't it? It's so and you're right, and I love that. Anything that gives you a good old ethical argument. Well, does he deserve it? He's so ghastly. Is what they're doing really as bad as what he's doing? So it's fantastic in that way. So it'd be a good old conversation starter.
I don't think I've had a visceral reaction to a character like this for some time. I just wanted to get in there and just hit him.
I did my best to get you to that point.
I mean, but I was wondering, because the way he makes a room feel unsettled. I mean, there's that thing, I think we all have this idea of things we could say. Like, imagine if I said this, imagine the reaction that would have. I mean, Claes, I was going to ask, is it quite cathartic in a way to play it out through a character like this?
In a weird way it is. Because it allows you to do stuff that you probably, with your own very bad sense of humor, sometimes thought, oh, this might be a fun thing to say right now. Or no, I mean, it is cathartic in the way that everything that is John Paul is also inside me. I hope that I am not only all that, but the narcissism, the inferiority complexes, the hatred, the thing of always putting other people down to look better yourself. All that is something I can totally relate to. So. And to be allowed for that just to be there can be sort of cathartic in a way. If it's in a controlled environment and it doesn't like get out of hand. But it's just, it really makes me happy that you say what you say, because I think this is the reaction you want. You want people to feel this way about the character, as you just said, and also to some extent, because I don't think there's anything that justifies killing anybody. But we need to sort of try to make sense of getting people to the point where you're just like, I'm fucking gonna kill him.
You have to, that's the quest for the kingdom, isn't it, with this story? To make the audience invest in his murder, to go along with the sisters to say, get him. And if we can achieve that, then we're grand. Because if they at any moment distrust or are suspicious of the sisters, we've lost it. The caper is about, that's the end game, isn't it? In the way that you want Ocean's 11 to rob all the money. It's a similar sort of craziness, isn't it? But that's the fun of the story.
Yeah, and Anne-Marie, I was going to ask, I mean, you bring always such humanity to every role you play. And in this instance, in a show that's quite funny and quite heightened, you're playing a character who is grieving. And I just wondered if you approach every role and in every project with that same element of truth, irrespective of the tonality of the production.
Well, first of all, thank you for saying that. That's a lovely thing to say. And I love your use of the word grieving. That's so beautiful. Yeah, you have to, I think. I think there's only one way I know how to do my job in a way, and that's to just start with that sort of like the nerve endings of somebody and to try and make them feel like a person that you could be standing in the queue next to at the supermarket, you know, whether that's a Queen or Grace or whatever. But I found her story to be beautifully sad, but also true. There's a lot of that in the world. And so, you know, it didn't feel like such a giant leap. This is the irony, of course. Sometimes playing extremes doesn't feel like a giant leap because, as we've been discussing, we're all seasons, we're all different things. And we're all capable of being manipulated or controlled, or, you know, if we feel insecure or the loss of love or the shame of having fallen in love with someone who could be so cruel, you know, what does that do to you? That puts you into paralysis, and so you can't move. And so, you know, that felt very easy to articulate the truth of that, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say in a long-winded way. But, you know, so yeah, that's just the way I work. I think I don't think putting on a funny hat would help me do my job any better. You know, I wish it would sometimes, but.
My final question is, I love that there's, you know, the sisters on Christmas mornings sort of heading off to go in the sea. I just wondered if you guys have any Christmas family Christmas traditions that you do every year.
Well, we have a rule on Boxing Day. You can eat whatever you want for breakfast, and it can be anything you want. So you could have burger and chips, you could have Haribo Tankfastics, you can have whatever you want. And that is our every Boxing Day morning. You can have whatever you want for breakfast. It's a silly wee thing, but you know.
I wish I could sort of say something. I don't. No.
He doesn't do Christmas.
I love Christmas. No, but it's just been, no, there's no, sorry.
Just the usual Danish lovely things. No?
Which is not so different from...
I guess. The food is different.
Is it? It's not, no. What do you have for Christmas?
Don't show me up. Don't show me up.
Let's go through the recipes for Christmas now. I'm sorry, I can't really come up with anything clever in that department.
That's okay. I've found out that Anne-Marie's family like to eat Haribos and burgers on Boxing Day.
I can only say I want to spend Boxing Day at Anne-Marie's next time.
It's a good fun thing to set up.
Because my family always look at me funny when I eat weird things for breakfast, but I can go there and do it.
Yeah. I think anything qualifies as breakfast. We need to scrap the breakfast rules altogether, but that's a conversation for another time.
That bind us, baby.
Anyway, thank you so much for your time today.
You.
Let's not release the series. Cheers.
Thanks, love.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey You Guys.